Since October 7th, anti-Semitic acts have skyrocketed in the United Kingdom. Great Britain is no longer a safe haven for the Jewish people, and most British Jews have considered leaving the country. Dale Hurd brings us the story from London.
This is the United Kingdom that British Jews experience today.
Zionists, they are filthy animals.
Like obedient sheep, you obey Israel.
The whole condemning Hamas, I'm not going to condemn them, and Israel doesn't exist.
Most British Jews now no longer believe they have a future here. Recent polling has also found that most Jews hide their Jewishness in public and do not feel welcome in the United Kingdom. Gideon Falter is chief executive of Campaign Against Anti-Semitism, which commissioned the poll and has been documenting the rising Jew hatred.
A lot of people have talked about whether they have a future in this country. Do I think the Jewish community in the UK is going to evaporate? No. But I do think there is a sizable conversation now happening within the community of people saying, okay, is this the place that we've got a future?
There were nearly 2,000 anti-Semitic incidents reported in the first half of 2024, the highest number ever recorded for a 6-month period. 9 out of 10 British Jews say the government is not doing enough to stop the violence and discrimination.
I know some who have left. I know some who are actively, seriously looking at leaving.
Jewish investigative journalist David Collier tells us he constantly feels the anti-Jewish hate.
I get death threats every single day, but I'm also being contacted by Jews either who are having trouble at work, at home, students.
What brings you both out here today?
Well, just the amount of anti-Semitism we've had in Oxford for the past year has been really awful. We've had swastikas, we've had Jews being accused of weaponising anti-Semitism.
We've been told we're not welcome at the university.
Yeah, and it just...
down the streets.
It's been escalating, and this is the big message, it's about the escalation, you know, it's getting gradually worse.
This in a nation where the adopted national song is Jerusalem. In the song Jerusalem, the British sing, "We will not cease till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land." But this Judeo-Christian connection that goes back centuries has begun to fray. Surveys show British Jews consider Islamists to be the most serious threat. And in a close second is the far left. Falter adds the nation's young people are being indoctrinated against Jews.
They are becoming radicalized on the internet. They are imbibing bigotries that their parents themselves don't have. And then they're teaching this from one kid to another kid. We've got a generation which is extremely hateful, and not just hateful, they're extremists.
David Collier is afraid demographics have already decided the future course of Britain's Jews. The most popular name for baby boys in Britain today is Mohammed.
It's a completely different country. The entire dynamic has changed, the entire atmosphere has changed, both towards Israel and an extension towards the Jewish community. It's completely different. It's a different country with a different demographic, a different outlook. Everything about it is different. You're talking to these Jewish people, and you know that things are only going to get worse for them, not better. There's no way back for the United Kingdom from this point.
Dale joins us with more. Dale, during his speech in Munich, Germany last week, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said nothing is more urgent than mass migration. In many European countries, mass migration is at an all-time high. And Vance suggested the recent car-ramming terrorist attack in Munich was a result of unvetted migration.
How many times must we suffer these appalling setbacks before we change course and take our shared civilization in a new direction? No voter on this continent went to the ballot box to open the floodgates to millions of unvetted immigrants.
So, Dale, you reported extensively on Brexit and European voter concerns about immigration. To what extent has mass migration caused this dramatic rise in anti-Semitism in Britain?
It's the number one driver. As I say in the story, the most popular name for baby boys in Britain now is Mohammed. But it's interesting that in the view of Jews who were polled about this, right behind Muslim immigrants is the far left in Britain. They're close behind Muslims as a source of anti-Semitism. And then most disturbing is it's spreading among British young people. And I think young people in a lot of nations, they're spreading lies and conspiracy theories over things like TikTok, and it's become sort of an indoctrination academy online for anti-Semitism.
And few of the Munich attendees applauded Vance. Why is that? What don't they understand about mass unvetted immigration?
Well, I can give you 3 reasons. The first one is, while Vance was standing up for democratic values, they saw him as fomenting revolution, which in a sense he is. He is telling people what they already suspected, what many of them are already disgusted by. The other reason is virtually none of these elites live near migrants. They're insulated from it completely behind fences. And thirdly, Europe and Britain are still under this spell, this fear of being called a racist, and that's like the worst thing, and it sticks, even if it's not true. And so they're like paralyzed. They don't want to do anything about it and be called a racist.
Well, then, how likely will we see a reversal of anti-Semitism and the mass migration policy in Europe? What will it take?
I think 2 different issues. I don't think the Jews I talked to were all extremely pessimistic that the situation would not change. And I am not suggesting this, but I think the only way it could change would be to remove some of the Muslim migrants from Britain, for instance. Migration as a whole in Europe is going to change. It's a certainty, and it's going to take a right-wing government. Voters know it. They've been told, don't vote for the right wing. You're a bad person if you do. But the center and the left will not address the problem, and that's why right-wing governments are inevitable in Europe.
Right-wing rising in Europe. Okay, Dale Hurd, CBN News senior correspondent, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.